Hey guys, today here I'm gonna have my War 5 video. So for this war, we're against GT40. Now, for this war, originally I was going to be taking a Doom boss, with my Nick Fury. So that's why you'll see him on the team, but no fights here. And then later in the war, we decided to send Scorpion instead. And I'm very happy we did this because, well, one, Scorpion got the solo, so that's always good. And two, GT40 on that Doom were running no Mystic's Dispersion, they were running Max Coagulate and Max Suture, and this was, I assume, to try and bait my Nick Fury in, because I have a few friends from GT40, so I'm sure they knew I've done this fight. So that's what they were going for, and they were trying to get a kill from that, so I'm very happy we went with Scorpion. And yeah, I'm going to show all of my fights this war, since it was only 3 fights, and, you know, I had 1 mini, and then 2 very, very quick path fights, so yeah. First of all, we have a Nimrod on the new Node 24. Now this fight, I was very worried about. This was probably the fight I was the most worried about, because the glancing can stop your neutralize if he starts gaining armor ups, because you can't stop all of them with your neutralize. Things are going to get a little annoying. And that happened here, and my phases fell off because of it. It's a safe enough matchup, but I definitely think in the future I would try and, go that extra mile to send Nebula every time to this. Here, we get a full stand your ground resist on that. Thankfully, I have my L1, so I can scapegoat out of that with my L1 and just go for the L1, because that means I can't get comboed back from that. So already off to a rough start. And then we're just going, my phases fell off, of course, so I'm just doing what I can to get back into the fight, trying to stay calm. And, I'm looking like, okay, I'm in a decent position at this point. 10 ruptures up, I got, and then he glances that, and I lose my damage phase. So I'm thinking, oh wow, that's really annoying. And then he resists a bunch of heavies. And at this point, I was quite annoyed. I do this to try and not lose my phase, but it didn't matter anyway, because I lost my phase anyway. He throws his L2, I dex it, I'm very good with that dex, so I wasn't worried about that. And yeah, here, Nimrod's still just glancing everything. I go for my L1, and doesn't glance the L1, thankfully. And yeah, glances that, thankfully we get to neutralize up there, and we're just about ready to end this fight. Just gotta get that L2 off and the fight will be over. But yeah, not my best work. I don't love this fight, but it worked well enough, so we'll take it. Full yellow bar solo, somehow. And yeah, next up I have a Skrull on node 32. Now the danger with this fight is if he does get an armor up, you're probably gonna die. So you cannot hit into his block, because you wouldn't have neutralize up for hitting into his block. So yeah, I just dueled a bunch and made sure I ingrained it into my head to just not hit his block, and that was the only thing I was worried about here. I went for a power start 1, to try and just make this fight quicker. And here we get this heavy counter. This spacing was a little weird, so I did the 2 dash back and then a light instead of the normal just immediate dash back heavy. And yeah. Now, you can see with that 1 L2, even with only 3 ruptures, the fight's pretty much over already. And that's the nice thing about Tigra here. He gave pretty passive AI, so we weren't able to get an actually quick fight, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter too much, because, the fight's still reasonably quick. Here we go for our L1, because it's going to be unblockable, and the fight's over. Yeah, not too bad, not my best work, but a decent fight. And then we have Nimrod versus Sauron. My Nimrod is on dupe, so my first L2 is not going to kill, and we'll have to build to a second L2. Definitely still the safest option for Sauron, for sure, but just not as quick as it can be. This is why I have the power start 1 on. Probably worth popping tech power back boosts for this. I did not, though, and yeah. As you can see, all the regen, prowess, everything gets removed. There's really no danger here. And yeah, we're gonna go into this, get our L2 off. Most of Sauron's health is gonna be gone now. Those shocks still did a good chunk. If I had parried more, that L2 could have killed, but I did not parry enough to get that L2 to kill. And at this point, we cycle back to a full thing, so our L2 is still in whatever that mode is called. And yeah, fight's over. So yeah, that was my war. Pretty sure we've lost this one. I don't think they've finished all of their fights, but unless something absolutely tragic happens, we've probably lost this war. So, yeah. Rough loss. We should have won this. They died so many times, at least for their standards, and it's definitely enough that we absolutely should have taken this win. So far, they've died 5 times, and we've died 6 times this war. And yeah, that's just ridiculous. We should have had this win. And yeah. Pretty annoyed at that, because we absolutely should have won this war, but we just fucking choked. They handed us a free win, and we just handed it right back to them. And that's really annoying.